to be in my show. You don't have to be a star, baby, to be on my show. Hey, good evening to you and yours. And of course, it's 10 p.m. And of course, my name is Kimberly F. Brown. And I want to welcome you to the Little Hut Podcast. Friday evening, it's about 10 p.m. And of course, I am going to spend at least 30 minutes with you. So before we get down to the get down tonight, I want to say again, thank you to my sponsors, real quick, of Dream Team Realty, Aletha Johnson. If you need a single home, commercial home, whatever your need may be, give her a call at 216 375 3681. And also, too, as always, thank you to concerned citizens of Garfield Heights. It's always a pleasure to have your support, regardless of the good, the bad, the ugly, or indifferent. Because you guys know I tell the truth, the whole truth, ain't nothing but the truth. And my job is only to push you into excellence. Here again, welcome to the Little Hut Podcast. Absolutely. And tonight I have a very serious issue that we need to discuss because I need to understand why in the hell did we have a bloody 4th of July federal holiday? Crimes, burglary, assault, murder of a 27-year-old Cleveland police officer. Now, this podcast tonight is not for anyone under the age of 21. This is about grown folk and grown folks being responsible for their little folks. So let's get down to business. And here is my disclaimer. If I step on your toes tonight, it's because I meant to. If you get pissed off tonight, it's because that was my purpose. If you feel as though you want to unfriend me or not follow me on my YouTube channel, that simply means that I've done my job. Welcome inside of the Little Hut Podcast. So let's get this thing started. Who is responsible for your children? I'm looking. I'm asking. Who's responsible for your children? You see, here's the thing about people I don't understand. You guys will take 5 minutes of pleasure, maybe not. You allow someone to insert themselves in you. You become pregnant. You decide to carry a child for 9 months, birth the child, and then some of you got the nerves to say, I don't want to be a parent. Who's responsible for your child? That is the question tonight. What is your position as a parent? Is it to raise your children? Or is it for you to allow systems to make an attempt to raise your children? Who is responsible? Some people say, well, politicians are responsible. No such a thing, no such a thing, no such a thing. Some people say that the police officers are responsible to raise your child. They have their own. No such a thing, no such a thing, no such a thing. So, who is responsible? That is the question tonight. You see, there's something called positions. It's about, do you know how to play your role? What is your position. Let's look at the educational component. A teacher's job is to educate and to teach and to transfer knowledge to your young people. A young person's job when they go to school is to play the position of a student. The student becomes the learner. But when we don't allow our children to play their rightful position because they have no respect for authority, then you have already answered my question about who is responsible for your child. Brown on Cleveland. The police. The police job is to protect and serve. They take an oath of office. As citizens of this here United States of America, we're supposed to obey the law, respect authority, follow the rules, and understand our position. You see, because what happened yesterday, there's no way in the world that a 27-year-old young man, a police officer, should have been killed in the line of duty. And yes, I said it. I don't know if you guys read my editorial on Newsbreak. You can go to Brown on Cleveland, read it, and tell me what you think. But let me tell you something. Kimberly F. Brown, Brown on Cleveland, the Little Hut podcast, I stand on the side of police officers. Go ahead and friend me. Say whatever you want to say, but this is where I stand. I am outraged. I am pro-police. And I know some of you guys are probably saying, how can that be? Well, let me tell you guys something. I've had my share of dirty, rotten, filthy, nasty cops. I have. But just because a small few of them chooses to have that type of behavior and attitude and do wrong, that does not make every single police officer and this here United States of America and this here city of Cleveland wrong. You cannot judge everybody because of one person. And Black people, we should know that more than anybody. The same thing that people have done to us for years. Some of us got the nerve to do it to others. Brown on Cleveland. So let me tell you about my experience with some dirty, rotten, nasty, funky cops. As a kid, I was sexually molested by a Cleveland detective. Mine all messed up. I should be a person who can't stand cops. When I went to Baldwin Wallace College, I had security cops who told me that people who look like me, they called me the N-word. They kicked my dormitory door and told me, go home, you in. That did not discourage me. But I was angry. But I'm still not anti-cops. I had a dirty cop approach me in the city of Brooklyn under Mayor Michael Prozac. That man was going to shoot me dead. And he was wrong. And I watched the mayor and the police chief try to cover it up. But I'm still not anti-police. That man told me to get the stepping out of Brooklyn. I was parked legally. And he said I wasn't. And as he approached me and banged on my window with one hand on his pistol, had I moved the wrong way, Kimberly Brown wouldn't be here today. But I'm still not anti-police officers. In 2023, in November, I ran into a dirty, filthy cop in the city of North Randall under the leadership of Mayor David Smith. He tells me I can't park, I can't talk on the phone, and I can't text. As he stood by the side of my car with his hand on his holster in the middle of the night. And I was just trying to get out of my car, but I was trying to return a phone call before I exited my car. And here his dumb ass comes. But I'm still not anti-police. You see, let me tell you guys something. When I needed a cop, when my home was burglarized, not once, but twice, it was the Cleveland Police Department officers who came out to my home who made sure I was okay. To this day, a lot of Cleveland police officers know where I live. And they come down my street and they stop and they say, "Hey, Ms. Brown, are you okay today?" Because they check on me. I can't be anti-police. When my mom had a heart attack and EMS could not make it to her home on time, it was the Cleveland police who came to my mom's house, escorted her, put her in the car, made sure that she got to the hospital. And my mother is alive today because of the CPD. I cannot be anti-police. You see, when a dirty ass council president in the city of Maple Heights tried to get a white police chief to strong arm me and to disrespect me, all because the council president refused to let me speak simply because he thought that I was going to talk about the corruption that was going on in the city of Maple Heights when a councilman went to the city of Brecksville and disrespected a senior and elderly white couple. But that white police chief, he did his job, but he was humbled and he was hurt. But he could have done whatever he wanted to do to me at that city council meeting. Had I moved wrong, I would have been shot down like a dog, all because, not because of the white guy, but because of the black council president who told the white police officer to have me removed. And I didn't do a damn thing. I cannot be anti-police. Brown on Cleveland. The bloodshed that took place on yesterday, it was hurtful. Officers, they have a job to do. Their job is to protect and serve. That's it. And I see some people, some activists, you so rotten in your core, you can't even like a comment that says, "My condolences to that officer and his family." You so rotten, spiteful to the core that you don't even have a heart to say that what happened to that 27-year-old officer was absolutely wrong. All because you caught up in your damn feelings. But these same officers that you dog are the same officers that you complain about when you call them when they don't come to your house in a timely fashion. Do you ever ask yourself why? Who's responsible for your children? Who? Do you play your position? You see, because here's what I know. Last year, because of Jennifer Burke, Jennifer Burke of Garfield Heights, I went on a ride along with one of the officers of Garfield Heights. And when I went on a ride along, it was the most scariest feeling ever. I couldn't wait to get back to the police station. What I realized that night was that every single second mattered. I watched that young cop that I was with, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, respond to calls in his assigned zone. There was one home we went to because someone had reported that there was a F-150 driving recklessly through the city of Garfield from turning and down side streets. They gave the cop the description of the truck. And as we were patrolling, well, he was patrolling, I was riding, but I was there. He located the truck. It was back in the driveway. And the side door of this home was open. And as this cop got out of his car, he looked at me and he said, "Do not get out of this car. Listen, you ain't got to tell me because I'm already scared." I watched this cop go up this dark driveway and I began to pray. And tears began to come down my eyes because I didn't know if they were going to try to shoot this cop. There was a man, he said, was hiding behind the truck. And there was a lady in the door. And thank God that they complied to what he was saying. So whatever he told them, I think it was go in the house, do not speed through the city of Garfield Heights because he didn't want to have to come back. I prayed to God that when that cop walked in that driveway, that no one was going to murder him. Because all I know is had these individuals looked the wrong way or positioned themselves as though they had a weapon, there would have been a shootout. And somebody that night would have lost their life. You know, the bloodshed on our streets are crazy. The hatred that some of you guys have for police officers is totally ridiculous. Right now, we pretty much live in a lawless society. These people do whatever the hell they want to do. And a lot of people, well, not a lot, you got some people who think that other people should be allowed to do what the hell they want to do. Nobody is above the law. If you do something and you violate something and you break the law, you have to pay a penalty. there's a consequence. There's something called legislation. There's another area where people got to enforce it. And then once they enforce it, if you go to court, you got to deal with the consequences. And as long as the consequences are fair and equitable, who gives a crap? You did what you did, and you got to serve your time. And it shouldn't be a fine. When is the city of Cleveland going to be tired of this nonsense? And y'all wonder why, Pastor Gates, I saw you on the news. Y'all wonder why these stores, these corporations don't want to be in our neighborhood. We live in a food desert as it is. Why? Because you guys have pretty much positioned people to do whatever the hell they want to do, and there's no consequence. Because the first thing you want to say is they didn't grow up with the father. Well, neither did I. And neither did my brothers. And my mother did a hell of a good job. And I am so sick and tired of people talking about, well, I can't know what my kid is doing all the time. Well, you can damn sure try. Because all I know is this. Had that situation over in the Huff neighborhood, Cleveland Ward 7, had the 27-year-old cop killed the man who was trying to get away on a bike, every single activist would have been on the news talking about no justice, no peace. And that cop needs to lose his job. And they would have been talking about qualified immunity. Bullshit. But because it's reversed, you can't hear a peep from these activists. Where you at? Y'all want to talk about, police oversight. They need an oversight on you. Allow people to do their job. And if they can't do their job, they don't need to be there. I heard a friend of mine today. We were hanging out and we were having a discussion. And she said, Kim, our kids are getting into trouble because we need jobs out here. Not true, not true, not true, not true. And anybody who want to debate me, come inside the Little Hut podcast. You ain't bold enough. It's not true simply because you have a lot of jobs out here. But in order to get a job and to maintain a job, you got to have something called discipline. Discipline. You got to be mindful of what you're doing. You got to be able to follow instructions. You got to be able to follow directions. There are jobs out here. You got to be able to complete an application. You got to be able to read, write, do simple arithmetic. But if you can't even get out of school because you're acting like a fool, you're not going to get a job. There are 1 million jobs available. Stop using that as a cop-out. Tell the truth. I'm asking, who's responsible for your kids? Somebody knew what this guy had allegedly done to his grandmother. Nobody said anything. So it appears. Let me put that out there. But could you imagine if someone spoke up? Maybe, just maybe, this 27-year-old would have not lost his life simply because he was doing what was right. Today I had a mayor from a city reach out to me today. And I'm not going to tell you what city, but he read my editorial on Newsbreak, And he said it was well written, and he commended me for a thought provoking article. He said it was very insightful, and he agreed. And he further said that that is one call he never wants to get. And that's the call that says that one of his officers are down. He said it bothers him every single day when his phone rings. And it's the chief of police because he doesn't want to get that call. And thank God he has never received that call. But I appreciate him so much because he's a mayor of a city. I don't really know him, but he took the time to say, Brown on Cleveland, you're spot on with this one. So I don't know if he watched this podcast, but I will tell him, thank you. Thank you for reaching out, and thank you for being honest because somebody got to say it. I don't know who you guys think is responsible for raising your child or your children, but I'll say this. We need to learn how to play our position. Understand your position. This young man who got killed yesterday, he could have been your child. A child who only wanted to protect and serve his community. And somebody else's child took that from him because no one taught that child how to respect the career of another child and how to follow the directives of an authority personnel. Who's responsible? Those of you who don't understand your position, you are responsible. My heart, my condolences, my prayers goes out to every single police officer in this here United States of America. So let's be clear. Kimberly F. Brown and a Little Hut podcast and Brown on Cleveland, we have the utmost respect for the men and women who have taken the oath to protect and serve. My time is up. I made it very, very clear today. My name is Kimberly Brown. Brown, Brown, Brown. Simply Brown on Cleveland. So as I always say, it's Friday night. Tomorrow, I'm hanging out with my mother. We're going to the circus. And hopefully I don't see a lot of you there. Or maybe I will. I just want to have some peace and some relaxation. I know that a lot of you guys don't like me, and I'm okay with that. Because real talk, I don't like you either. And that's what we have in common. But do me a favor. If you need me, reach out to me. Call me. Don't talk about me because you guys know I'll talk about your back because I will go on attack. And I can be really, really brutal. But have a safe weekend, you guys. Let's get through this weekend. Hopefully, no more blood will be spilled this weekend. You guys have a great one. As always enjoy talking with you each and every Friday evening. Have a great day. I'm tired. I'm still upset. God